Hi guys, I've put a bit of lipstick on today. No makeup, but I did notice in other videos that my lips look all chapped. So today I've put some lipstick on. So have you guys heard of sensory overload? Because that's what we're going to be talking about today. What is sensory overload? Who gets sensory overload? And how does it affect us? It's that time, guys. Grab your cup of tea or your cup of coffee and come and chill with me for a little while. I've got my cup of tea. Have you got yours? Right, guys, so in response to the question, who can suffer from sensory overload? The answer is absolutely anybody. Sensory overload is overstimulation. Now, you probably know that it's commonly spoken about when we think about people with autism or ADHD, but did you know that it's also very common for people who live with anxiety or are very stressed? Sensory overload, guys, is excessive input that our bodies and minds struggle to cope with. It's like pouring a glass of water. That glass can only hold so much before it starts overpouring. Being overexposed to the things we feel, see, hear, taste and smell can often trigger this. And you can be triggered at any time whatsoever. It can literally manifest in different ways and different degrees. And I will tell you in a minute how it affects me. If you've ever sat in a room, guys, and the lights feel extra bright to the point they're making you feel on edge, or the TV is on the same level as you always have it, but today it's making you feel like your head's going to blow off. Your husband or wife, your children or your friend are enjoying the food in exactly the same manner they always do. But for some reason today, you feel like the sound that they're making sounds like they're chomping on bricks. And to your mind, it literally feels like fingernails down a blackboard. Anything like this, guys, smells that are extra irritating or more powerful than usual. Taste or textures of things in your mouth that you normally love and they just don't feel right today. There is a possibility that you are just a little bit more irritable or oversensitive, but there's a good possibility that you can be suffering from sensory overload. If how you're feeling feels a little excess or extreme, and you literally want to run for the hills and get away from everybody and everything, then you are most definitely suffering from overstimulation or sensory overload. For me personally, guys, I've had all these sensitivities, even the taste and smells, but I'm mostly affected by the sight, sound and feelings. There are times when I can literally feel so overwhelmed that I have to shut off my phone, shut the curtains, close the doors, turn off the lights and just be totally alone until I feel level again. And if I don't do that, I start to get really flustered, really anxious and really irritated. I also find that lots of people don't understand how I retreat and kind of lock myself away. And I know it particularly worries my family, especially my mum, because she thinks I'm isolating. And I guess in a way I am. But nobody knows how to deal with me better than me. And I know what I need to do to make myself feel normal again. Does that make sense? And you guys will be exactly the same. We all have certain coping mechanisms, don't we? And certain strategies for different situations and different circumstances. And I think as long as our coping strategies are not harmful to ourselves, then I think we should be left to do what it is we need to do. There are things we can do to prevent sensory overload or overstimulation, or at least things we can do to make sure we don't suffer with it as often. The first thing is removing yourself from social media, from your phone flickering in your face, just giving your brain a rest for a little while. Anything that reduces stress and anxiety, like meditation, yoga, tai chi, breathing exercises, walking in nature and exercise works wonders for me. Getting time out as well, guys. It's really, really vital. Just a bit of time just for you to practice some self-care. Setting boundaries as well, guys. It's okay to leave any place, any situation, and any circumstance if you're feeling uncomfortable or you find it triggering. Eating well and drinking lots of water. Journaling is absolutely brilliant for keeping track of your triggers and symptoms. You can also buy sensory items. There's some wonderful like sensory carpets, sensory lamps, sensory ceilings that can really help bring you back to a normal level. This last one is the most vital, guys. If you're feeling overwhelmed because everything feels out of whack, don't you be afraid to ask for help. A little thing I always tell myself is everything is under my control. Everything is under your control. We don't want sensory overload or overstimulation to stop us living our life, but just know that if you're doing something and you're triggered or you begin to feel overwhelmed, you are absolutely in control and you can take yourself away and retreat and you don't have to feel bad about that. Don't you stay in any situation that's not making you feel good. The reason I wanted to speak about this is because it is so very common. I was at my mum's the other day and everything seemed to be affecting me. The lights were too bright, the sounds were too loud. I felt really, really hot and bothered. Nobody was doing anything to cause any of this. My mum's a really peaceful person. I'd just taken on too much the previous days. And that seemed to be, unfortunately, when I were at my mum's, the time that it hit me. And when I got home to my own place, it was like a big, a big sigh of relief. Because I knew then I was in my environment, an environment I could control to make everything as comfortable as I could for myself. And that's what I needed to do to sort myself out. Guys, do you suffer from sensory overload or overstimulation? How does it manifest for you? And what advice can you give to others to help them cope with it? Thank you all for being here. I really do appreciate you. I love you all so very much. Bye for now, and I'll see you all in the next one.